Arsène Wenger, a name that resonates across continents. A man who was not just a football manager but a symbol of hope, vision, and unshakable belief. For over 2 decades, he led Arsenal with a passion that inspired millions and created a legacy that goes far beyond the trophies won. But what truly defines his greatness? It's not just the glory on the pitch, but the character he showed off it, his resilience in the face of adversity, and his ability to inspire even in moments of doubt. This is the story of a man who never let setbacks define him. Born in the small town of Strasbourg, Wenger's story didn't begin in the boardrooms of football clubs but in the quiet corners of his mind. As a player, he was modest, more reflective than flamboyant. But his love for the game ran deep. He wasn't satisfied with simply playing. He was consumed by a vision. The vision of a game played with intelligence, flair, and understanding. In Monaco, Wenger wasn't just learning about football. He was shaping his philosophy. He was creating a vision that, one day, would reshape English football. His tactical approach, his focus on fitness, and his desire to make football a more thoughtful, cerebral sport would set him apart. When Wenger first arrived at Arsenal in 1996, he was an unknown. To many, he was just another foreign coach with new ideas. But for Wenger, this wasn't about proving people wrong. It was about proving something far greater: the power of belief, the value of vision, and the importance of persistence. In the early days, Arsenal's players didn't quite understand Wenger's ways. He demanded more than just effort. He demanded thoughtfulness, intellect, and a deep understanding of football. Yet over time, as they adopted his philosophy, they began to see a change not just in their performance, but in their mindset. This was more than a managerial shift. It was a cultural revolution. The 2003-04 season was not just about records. It was a battle of belief, a test of Wenger's unwavering commitment to his principles. Going unbeaten through an entire Premier League season, no one thought it could be done. But Wenger's faith in his methods, his belief in his players, and his relentless drive to build a team that played with beauty and intelligence led Arsenal to the impossible. Arsène Wenger never sought validation from the world. His pride wasn't in the trophies, but in his vision coming to life, the beautiful, unstoppable football that only he had dared to imagine. The Invincibles were a testament not just to Arsenal's quality, but to Wenger's belief in his method and his refusal to compromise on what he knew was right. To understand Wenger's greatness, we must look beyond football. For Wenger, football was never just about winning. It was a vehicle for something greater, teaching life lessons. His philosophy was one of growth, of creating better human beings, not just better footballers. Wenger's philosophy was rooted in more than tactics. It was rooted in life itself. He taught his players to believe in themselves, to take risks, to think, and to respect the game as much as the people they played with and for. His commitment to youth development, growing future stars, was the legacy that continued beyond his tenure. But no story of Arsène Wenger is complete without acknowledging the immense challenges he faced. The years without silverware, the increasing pressure from fans, pundits, and the media. Yet in those very moments, Wenger's true strength was revealed. He didn't back down. He didn't change his approach. He remained steadfast in his principles. Wenger's resilience wasn't just about enduring criticism. It was about staying true to himself. In a world that wanted instant success, he showed the world the power of patience, vision, and long-term thinking. He showed us that sometimes, the path to greatness is fraught with struggle. But those struggles only made him, and his legacy, stronger. Arsène Wenger wasn't just a manager to Arsenal fans. He was part of their family. Through his triumphs and trials, through the joy and the pain, Wenger became a symbol of something more. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that the journey was just as important as the destination. Even when they doubted, even when the protests erupted, Wenger's relationship with the fans remained unbreakable. In the end, he didn't just leave a team behind. He left a legacy of love, respect, and above all, belief. The Wenger years weren't just about what he achieved. They were about what he inspired. It was May 2018. The Emirates was soaked in emotion. For the last time, Arsène Wenger stepped onto the touchline as Arsenal's manager. 22 years had flown by, and now, he was saying goodbye. But this wasn't just a farewell to a manager. It was the closing of a chapter that changed English football forever. Wenger's departure was both painful and graceful. As fans held up banners reading, "Merci Arsène," tears welled up in eyes across generations. Even those who had called for his exit couldn't deny the void his departure would leave. In his farewell speech, Wenger said, "Above all, I'm like you, I'm an Arsenal fan." And in those words lay his heart. He had given Arsenal more than trophies. He gave them identity, dignity, principles. You might think Wenger would fade into the background after Arsenal. But he didn't. Instead, he took on a role at FIFA as Chief of Global Football Development. His mission, to shape the future of football, to bring structure, intelligence, and fairness to a game that sometimes forgets its soul. Wenger began advocating for global youth development programs, AI integration in refereeing, and even controversial ideas like the biennial World Cup. Whether people agreed or not, they listened. Because it was Wenger, the man who saw tomorrow before anyone else. He also released his autobiography, My Life in Red and White, a reflective and inspiring account of leadership, sacrifice, and passion. Wenger didn't walk away from football. He walked toward a new chapter of serving it. Trophies are tallied, legacies are lived, and Wenger's legacy isn't just in gold or silver. It's in hearts, in minds, in changed careers. He showed that you could win with integrity. He proved that visionaries don't need validation in medals. Their work speaks louder. He changed dietary standards, training systems, global scouting, tactical fluidity, and gave birth to modern football as we know it. Every manager today, from Guardiola to Arteta, owes something to Wenger's blueprint. He created legends. Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie. He believed in potential before it was proven. In a world obsessed with instant results, Wenger planted seeds that would blossom years later. Wenger's greatest chapter might still be unwritten. It lives in future generations. In kids studying his philosophy, in clubs adopting his ethics, in fans who found hope in his resilience. He never won the UEFA Champions League. But maybe that's why his story is so inspiring. Because success without struggle is ordinary. Wenger's journey was extraordinary. In the end, legends aren't remembered for what they didn't win. They're remembered for how they made you feel. And Wenger made us believe that intelligence can beat money, that dignity can beat cynicism, and that in football, as in life, doing things the right way is the only legacy that lasts. If this story touched you, share it. Comment your favorite Wenger moment. And don't forget to subscribe to Sportspace 4 for more powerful football stories that go beyond the pitch. This was what made Arsène Wenger a legend despite not winning the UCL. Merci, Arsène, for everything.